Well, back in the shop. That makes us happy. I hope you guys enjoyed that last upload that I did with interviewing Chip Foose. That was such a cool day. This was another interview that I did at the Iola Car Show that I absolutely adored. And honestly, this one snuck up on me. We were just cruising through this parking lot and I saw this car and I just thought, there's something crazy different about this car. And I just walked up to the little fella and I learned so much more than I could have ever expected about that car. And he was just such a precious human. With the topic of electric cars and EV power really kind of dominating the car scene and the automotive aftermarket and the whole world of, transportation right now, I think this is a really interesting topic to study and look at and realize how long it's been around. I have so much respect for this sweet man and really all the people that are revolutionizing the way we get around. While we all love big gas burning, large displacement, power adders, all of these big engines, I want to say where I stand is I support all ways of getting around. I want them to support us and what we love, and I want to support them and what they love. No matter what you are into, what you want to drive, how you want to get places, I want to support it because I also want to be supported by them. So it's a two-way street. I think that this interview was really neat. I'm excited for y'all to see it. So off we go. So I am checking out all these cars and I walk up on this one. It is really unique. Can you tell me about this car?
This car is completely different than the other cars because of all the gas cars here. This is the only one that runs on batteries. This is an electric car. Back in 1929, they built 3 of this particular model of the electric car, and this is the only one known to exist. The Detroit Electric Car Company made cars 1907 to like 1932, then it got sold, and I can't remember the name of the company it got sold to. And from 1932 to 1937, they modified Dodge and Willys bodies to electrify them so that it was an electric car. If you look at the original brochure, on the front of it, it shows a Model 98, a Model 97, and then a modified Dodge or Willys body. So this will go 100 miles on a charge. It'll recharge overnight. And it's basically like 84 volts. There's 8 batteries in the back, it's 6 batteries in the front. And I've got the original factory charger for it at home. And you just plug it in.
Did you find it in this condition?
Yes, this is unrestored. This is the original interior in this car and an unrestored body. It never overheats. You don't have a trouble with the clutching, the engine smoking, the exhaust, or anything else. And it's perfectly comfortable if you got all the windows open. There's a slight breeze going through, so it's not like it's hot.
Right.
These were primarily rich ladies and doctors' cars. So you realize that the doctors liked them because if they needed to go somewhere quick and they knew the car had a charge on it, they just could get in and go. And the rich ladies liked them because it gave them their independence in the early days. They could get in the car without having somebody to start the car for them, go to town, turn around, and come back, versus trying to get out and hand crank a car in their fancy dress and petticoat. And this being the front drive was designed so that the owners could sit in the back and their chauffeur could drive them and their guest could sit there and face them. And then they could carry on a conversation. I trailered the car here. I'm camping in the campground. I've done this for 25 years here.
How do you feel about the Teslas and the movements of all of how we are now with we love all these gas burning engines, but a lot of people are moving to electric EV vehicles?
I have an opinion on that, and granted, this is my opinion.
That's what I want.
In my opinion, I think they got the cart in front of the horse. There's a lot of infrastructure that they haven't worked out the details. And a perfect example is if you live in the Midwest and you're on I-80 in the middle of winter and you're going down and it's snowing, somebody has an accident, and you've got a whole bunch of electric cars backed up for 20 miles for 3 solid hours, a lot of those cars are going to go dead because they're trying to keep, the car warm and everything else. And it's not like you order a 5-gallon can of electricity.
No.
Every one of them has to be towed off, take it to a site that's capable of charging them. They can't charge so many at one time, so they're going to be lined up. Somebody's going to be checked into a motel, and they're going to be very frustrated. So I'm hoping that they get the infrastructure involved in order to take care of these. I think that the Toyota Prius, which is a hybrid, was a great thing, because if you run out of electricity, you've got a motor backup.
Yep.
If some of these other electric cars would have a very small generator that just would be capable of running on a small tank of gas to generate enough power for the car to get it off the highway in case of an emergency, I think you'd save a lot of trouble. But they just aren't there yet. We'll have to see where they go.
And what was your name?
Dave Lefebvre, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Dave, so nice to meet you. I'm Emily. I feel like I could talk to you for hours about this car. Your heart for it is really incredible, and I really appreciate you telling me about it. What did y'all think of that interview? I'm really excited to hear the comments. I thought that it was really neat and enlightening, for me at least. You guys probably already knew all the history, but it was cool for me to learn. I really respected that gentleman and his passion and really heartfelt connection to that car and the history behind it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this like I did, and I'm excited to see you guys on the next episode. We're actually gonna get to wrenching soon too, so little MG's gonna get back on the road. We're gonna work on this one. Lots of good stuff coming up. See y'all soon.